Hello, welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the hoarse voice, recovering from cough. My channel is dedicated towards creating narcissistic abuse awareness and more so from a biblical standpoint. And I'll also be discussing other general life issues. For the past few weeks, I've been discussing the different ways narcissistic abuse manifests itself. Remember, narcissistic abuse is domestic violence. Today I'll be looking at another way it manifests, which has also gone under the radar, and that's post-separation abuse. Post-separation abuse is simply the never-ending abuse the narcissist applies or the abuser towards their victim, all because the victim has untangled the web they were in. And this gets worse if the abuser and the survivor have got children. These abusers are going to carry out subversive ways in which to control and get back at the survivor because of them moving away from their control. One of the ways they are going to do is stalking. This is where they are monitoring your phone calls. They can tap them. They are following you wherever you're going. If you're working, they have someone at work who is updating them on whatever you're doing. Wherever you're going to go shopping, you'll find them there. Sometimes you'll find they'll hire people to follow you, to intimidate you, such that you feel threatened, you feel definitely insecure. And sometimes this insecurity they create is to make you go back to them, because they give you this false sense of, even if things were bad between us, at least I was there to protect you. They actually overlook that they were the ones who are abusing you because they are perfect, they never do any wrong. So stalking really goes a long way. Everything you're doing, these people know. They spend almost their lives obsessed with you, all because you refuse to remain under their control. Two, if you're having children, they are living vicariously through their children. I'm going to introduce a subject here briefly on the types of narcissistic parents. You're going to find that there'll be the overbearing parent who appears so involved in the child's life. Then there's the neglectful parent. This one is totally absent from the child's life. Now, if you happen to get the neglectful abuser, these people here just disappear. They fall off the surface of the earth from the family, from the kids' lives. So much as it's abusive, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. But in future, these are the people who you'll find that when the child has attained notoriety, this is when you find them emerging that I'm the father of so and so. We've experienced this a lot in Uganda here, where there are beauty contests and who emerge as winners, and then out of the blue, their fathers show up and they're like, that is my daughter. And there are some girls who have been like, nope. And kudos to them. That's not a father figure. You're just a deadbeat dad, period. Fathers do not abandon their families. Now the overbearing parent, these are the ones who appear involved in the child's life. They are attending school functions. They appear to do homework with the children. I mean, they seem to be available. But the most unfortunate thing is that they are living vicariously through their children. The way their lives didn't turn out, they want their children to turn out the way they wanted to turn out, which they couldn't. So what they do, they push their children to do each and everything as they would have done. So the child, in essence, actually invalidates their emotions at this point. And you find that they are living their narcissistic parent's life, whether male or female. So you find that the child, much as the parent is around, the parent seems to be involved. The child is not living their life. The child is living the narcissistic parent's life. You may find that if, say, these achievers here, you may find the parent wants the child to ever be number one in class. If the child takes the second position, that is a crime that is punishable by whatever means possible. You may find they are taking away all the toys, they are taking away all the gadgets around. They're telling them maybe there's even no food, all to punish the child for having soiled the perfect image the parent already had in their delusional mind of who the child is. Remember, they are living vicariously through these kids here. So the children are really not children. The children are adults. These baby adults are adulting the child, and so the child misses out on their childhood. And if the other partner is not available, this is how you see the making of a narcissist also. There is enmeshment to the degree that the child has abandoned who they are, their image, and they have meshed themselves with this narcissistic parent. In the end, the child becomes just like the narcissist. Still under that controlling of the kids. Let's assume you're now living separately. These people here do their best to avoid going by the rule. Say it's their day to pick up the kids. They can tell you that, okay, I'm coming. Then the next day, just when it's almost time for them to come and pick up the kids, they'll say they are unable to do so. The kids had packed, maybe some of them were really expecting to be with them, especially the little ones. Suddenly there's no one. Now this child is left emotionally broken. I mean, the child is so broken. Now you, the parent, you have to console this child. You can see how they are still controlling the atmosphere. Then still under this controlling the children. Whenever it comes to parenting with these narcissists, they do not co-parent. They always counter-parent. If the children happen to be living with them, if your bedtime is, say, 8, you'll find the narcissist's bedtime is 10, 11, or midnight. If you're the one who is avoiding children from eating whatever they want, these narcissists are going to make sure they are buying them everything that they know you don't like. And they know the children are going to talk about it. And sometimes they can even tell the children, let it be our secret. So in the end, you find that they are causing that rift between you and the kids. They are playing the good cop, bad cop scenario. Counter-parenting is all about the good cop, bad cop scenario. But the beauty about it is that these children are growing, and the societal norms around them, especially if they're around godly environment, dictates otherwise, and they see this. 3, smear campaigning the other parent, either to the children or their own friends. Remember, even before the breakup, the smear campaign had already started. The moment they couldn't break you and they knew you're letting loose, they started a smear campaign so that they can discredit you before you go and tell these people the abusive nature these people are. So by the time you're talking about it, these flying monkeys or the enablers or the people out there will say, he had warned us about you, she had warned us about you. It is all to muffle your voice. But do not stop there. Talk about the abuse. You're entitled to talk about your abuse. It's also part of the healing journey. Recognizing it, validating it yourself, and even talking about it is one of those steps towards your healing. As the other parent, expect them to discredit you towards your own children and your friends, family, and even irrelevant people in your life. These people are malicious in every way. 4, financial abuse. Where there is narcissism, financial abuse must be there because money is their god. Like I said, narcissists are lazy. But what makes them appear to be hardworking is that the end goal is they are getting money. This money is going to help them buy the supply they want. When it comes to finances, they tend to have the upper hand. Even if you're also earning, many times they stack away their money. They use their money like their money is theirs, yours is ours. And even if it is theirs and they appear like they are sharing with you their financial situation, always remember there is money being stacked at the side. They equate money to power. So if they are having more money, it means they have more power. 5, these people are vindictive. A vindictive person is out to punish you. They do not forget the narcissistic injury you've caused them. The fact that you walked away meant that you exposed them for who they really are. In other words, you discredited their grandiose image they had created. So it meant that you have literally poked a hole in their balloon and it went pop. Always remember that abuse escalates. Abuse never takes a dip. It always goes up with the narcissist. So when you decide to leave and then you are talked into going back, these people are going to punish you for embarrassing them. These are the unforgivers. The narcissists are unable. They have no capability of forgiving. It is part of the territory of being a narcissist. Narcissists cannot forgive because forgiveness is a godly attribute. It comes from love. If you have no love, you cannot forgive. Now the narcissists, in their delusional mind, their fantasy world of they are perfect beings, they are omnipotent, all powerful. You showed people that God is a sinner, God is not perfect, you are going to pay. Even if they are pleading with you to come back, and people note this, the more they appear to plead and they're running from person to person, come and salvage the so-called relationship. Are you their partner? Be very cautious, because to the degree in which you have made them run out there to try and salvage the situation, much as they appear like they have humbled themselves, be rest assured you're going to pay. These people are vindictive. They don't forgive. They don't forget. It will always be peddled in every argument. Ever. They hate the fact that you exposed them of the abuse they were taking you through. They have no problem with abusing you, but they have a problem with you talking about the abuse they are taking you through. 6. If you'd filed for a divorce, sometimes these people are going to harass you. They will intimidate you into dropping that issue. Or if you'd filed charges against them about domestic violence, they will intimidate you. They will harass you such that you drop them. They will threaten you in different ways. They'll be glaring at you. You know, it's another kind of stalking in a way. But do not cower. The narcissist end game is to make you fear. When you give in into their fear, they have you in their control. Remember, God has not given you the spirit of fear, but that of love, power, and a sound mind. God calls us to expose any kind of exploitation, any kind of abuse, any kind of oppression. It's worse when you're trying to move on into the next chapter in your life and you've gotten someone. These are the people who are going to do everything to sabotage your next relationship. 7, you could get killed. Some of these narcissists, like I told you, they are vindictive. Because you exposed them, they can get back at you to the degree of having you killed. That is something you need to be mindful of. Narcissists, especially if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist, they can go a full 9 yards. So anything regarding domestic violence, I encourage you, involve the authorities. If they threaten to beat you, if they threaten to kill the animals, to kill your parents, to kill the kids, involve the authorities. 8, parental alienation. Whether the courts granted them custody rights than you or not, you'll find that they'll try to show the kids they are better parents by splashing them with presents instead of their presence. You find that these are people who are talking ill about the other parent to the child so that the child may start hating the other parent. They are always working behind the scenes. Remember, these people are manipulative. They are malicious. Every act of theirs is intentionally done to punish the partner who has refused to be under their control. Many times, people tend to be too quick to judge people who are in these abusive situations. You must have done something to provoke this abuser. The thing is that there is nothing you did that warranted that abuse upon you. You don't need to have an excuse for a narcissist to be abusive. Their nature dictates that they must be abusive. So there's nothing you did. You didn't cause it. You can't cure it. You can't fix it. No, by nature, these people are lawless. A lawless man is not good. If they were showing you that they were good, that is an appearance of of something, but it's not. How con men have fooled many people into buying crystals as diamonds. They have an appearance of, but they are not. This is how narcissists are. That is how shallow their love is. It has an appearance of godliness. The crux of the matter is that God is not in the picture. Pastor Teddy Naluswa, all the things she has worked hard for, but he sues her, knowing fully well she has no money. Abusers are always going to do their best to see how to financially control you. Even if you're the breadwinner, these people are going to sit back and you'll find that you're the one doing everything in the house. You're clearing every bill. Your partner is not chipping in. So church needs to look into this issue of encouraging people to stay in abusive situations in the name of God hates divorce. The thing is that at a given time, these people will let you go or you let them go. Survivors are also blamed for having stayed. The thing is that damn you if you stay, damn you if you try to get out. God hates divorce. You stay in, how could you? The survivor is always in a catch-22. With church, that should be the place of refuge for the oppressed. You instead find church has been the greatest perpetuator of abuse without really taking into consideration the mental health of these people. We always forget that God is concerned about our mental health. And God categorically told us that he has not given us a spirit of fear. Fear, we are looking at now the mind. The understanding of the mind, we are looking at the heart, we are looking at the soul, we are looking at the spirit. During the abuse, after the abuse, you are going to go through this. So if you are living in a state of fear, we are now looking at things such as complex post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, there's suicidal ideation for some people, there's rumination, where it's just the past is just running through your head and you can't stop it. Seek therapy. There are times when you can't coordinate things in your brain. Why? Because of the marinated juices of cortisol, adrenaline, which have been there, are now stored up there. So you cannot even think of picking something and taking it where it's supposed to be. All because the synapses are not communicating in any way. God foresaw this, and that's why he kept on telling us he hasn't given us the spirit of fear. But staying in that situation, you're going to find you are coming out with a lot of issues, and you really see how wicked such a relationship had been, and God would not have ordained something like that for you. I encourage people to seek therapy from certified therapists who understand this abuse, and above all, learn to rely on God. There's no other person who understands your situation more than God. He has walked with you. He will always walk with you because his word says he will never leave you. In the Greek, it's actually double negative. He will never, never leave you nor forsake you because you're his own. You're paid for by the blood of Christ. Remember, you're beautiful. You are loved. You are wanted. You are liked. You're more than enough. You're blessed, you're wonderful, you're kind, you're compassionate. That's why these people here came after you. Thank you so much for watching. Blessings.